So we have another AI assistant making an impact. This one is by Inflection AI. It's a Palo Alto-based startup founded by DeepMind co-founder Mustafa Suleiman and LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. Now, listen, I played around with this a little bit. You know, if I have a new AI assistant, I have to get my hands on it and play with it a little bit. Now, the first thing I'm going to cover here is the look of it. They got the look right. I like it. It reminds me a little bit, it has the simplicity of ChatGPT, but that beige background, listen, looks go a long way. That beige background, it just gives you this comforting feel of like an old book, right? And the font, I love the font that they chose, that basic standard, not standard, but like that basic font that they start you out with. I love it. It looks good. It works. It works. All right. So you have that. So then I went to the settings and I played around with the voices. I went through all of the voices. I chose Pi number 4, a lady's voice. It is very natural sounding. I know that sounds weird, right? But you know how some of these AIs are very robotic sounding. And even if you go down to the lower Pi voices, like Pi 7 and 8 or whatever those lower ones are, they start to sound a little bit robotic. But like Pi number 4, all of those upper voices they allow you to choose sound very natural, like a regular person would be speaking to you. And that counts a lot when it's reading long paragraphs. So, of course, you know, I had to run it through a lot of different tests to test it out. And so I started off with a prompt about the same prompt I usually use about who's smarter, Einstein or Stephen Hawking. It did very well. And that's another thing. The speed reminds me of, it's not as fast as Grok AI, right? But it's about as fast as ChatGPT. And I like that. I was putting in these complicated answers like what I just said. I mean, questions, not answers. And boom, almost instantly, the answer is popping up. And then I asked a little bit about, I believe I put in a prompt about string theory. Once again, very quick, boom, very understandable. Everything was very clear. I enjoyed that. Then I asked it a question about the Higgs bosons. Like, I'm really trying to put it to the test and give it extremely difficult information to explain. And it did a great job. It was very quick, very smooth. I enjoyed listening to the voice, read the words to me, as well as I enjoyed reading it myself because I loved everything about it. Now, I'm sure over time this is going to improve, but right now as a standard AI chatbot, they have something good on their hands. I was enjoying every little bit of it. And I'll tell you what, I was going into the experience thinking to myself, man, I don't need another GPT. I really don't. I have ChatGPT. I use that every single day. I have Copilot, which now I use Copilot more than I use Gemini. I use Copilot every day, multiple times a day. Gemini has fallen into last place. I use Grok AI every other day. And I went into this thinking to myself, I don't need another GPT. I'm just going to test this one out and I'm going to cast it away. But I'm going to tell you, my honest feelings are I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this one and I'm going to continue to use it and play around with it, toy with it. They did a great job at Inflection AI. Go check it out for yourself. It's an app on the Android store. Anybody can try it out. And I will tell you what, if it wasn't for the saving aspect of Gemini that it produces images, which I use Copilot for anyway. I use a lot of different image generators, Copilot, Gemini, Dream.ai. I use a lot of different ones depending on what I want to do. They're all a little bit different. But if it wasn't for that, Gemini is the one who would be in trouble. Now, let me close out with this thought, because they're positioning this to compete with ChatGPT. And they're like, is this the next ChatGPT killer? I'm seeing that being posted everywhere. But I don't look at this one as a competition for ChatGPT. ChatGPT is in a class of its own. This one here really puts Gemini on the hot seat, in my humble opinion. That's how I feel right now, folks. Copilot is okay. It's very special. I've learned that now. Copilot has its own lane. ChatGPT has its own lane. Right now, I think this is competition for Google Gemini. But that's just my humble opinion. You can check this out for yourself. But I enjoyed every second of it. And I did not expect it. So until next time, everybody, take care.